Okay, this is from Puppet Masters. Cover up of P-File Child Essay by Scientology. Yeah, P-File's still a word, you guys. Mike Gomez, dated 5 July 2012. When reading the stories of child SA abuse and how Scientology management tried to cover them up, then remember there's a Scientology policy troll, stating that Scientologists who are upstat, those doing very well and or making a lot of money for Scientology, should never be punished, while those who are downstat should be investigated. Gabriel Scott Williams reportedly was such an upstat person who was making lots of money for Scientology, and so victim Jennifer was to be stopped filing a complaint about the gruesome and psychological abuse of Gabe Williams. You can go look at her lawsuit if you want. Source: HCOPL, policy letter, dated 1 September 1965, ethics protection. In short, a staff member can get away with Merck, so long as his statistic is up. Wonder what Rathburn knows about that. Don't you guys wonder what Rathburn knows about that? Huh? Remember the man who owned the boat that Scientology wanted? And he didn't want to sell it, and he came up dead. Remember that guy? Yeah. His statistic is up and can't sneeze without a shop if it's down. You know, including children, you guys. Many of the staff members are children. When people do start reporting a staff member with a high statistic, what you investigate is the person who turned in the report. There's a name for this. I can't remember what it is. Child R-ist Gabriel Williams. Scientology S Assault Nightmare. Dated 2 October 2005. From the New York Post. From the New York Post troll. A former Scientology staffer is breaking her silence, by the way, she was a child, about being assaulted 100 times at age 16 and 17. She was a virgin before this as well. By the church supervisor. She was ordered to live with, and then receiving threats, fair game, and intimidating phone calls when she reported the abuse. Seems like the courts never do anything about that, do they? Must be a conspiracy. In a related civil suit brought by Stewart against Williams and the church, she recently received as part of the settlement a generous monetary resolution, said her attorney. Although the church admitted no wrongdoing, they never do. But they always willing to pay money, aren't they? Kind of like hush money. It forked over about $700,000, sources say. I was looking for a picture of this dude. Wasn't able to find it. Gabriel Scott Williams, California registered S offender, profile display. Does anyone know if he's still a Scientologist? Because a lot of times that doesn't stop them from, keeping him on. Like Masterson. And I predict a lot more will come out. Other files which were placed on this page temporarily, and the police files about the harassment, like police that don't do anything. Files about the harassment the Gorman family received, plus copies of the complaint against Scientologist R-ist, child R-ist, by the way, Gabriel Williams, who was convicted of S battery and SOD, the SOD, are now collected on a dedicated page. Let me just click on there real quick. That's okay. Scientology thinks they can erase this. You can't. You can't erase it. But, stay in the 50s. And that was written by Donald Anthony Strawn. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I got a little mixed up here. Okay. Okay, now the one I'm going to read. Donald Anthony Strawn. State of Florida versus Donald Anthony Strawn. I've heard this name before. A Scientologist by the name of Donald Anthony Strawn, also known as Tony Strawn, was convicted in 1995 to 30 years in prison for molesting 2 girls. Ages 11 and 13. Wonder if those girls ever came out and spoke about it. The children were in his custodial care. Okay, you guys, how many times have I been screaming to the top of my lungs about this guardianship stuff? Scientology has mastered it. Absolutely mastered it. Children are pawns, you guys. Don't you understand? And the parents, whether knowingly or unknowingly, just signed their children over like that. And what did he do? He R'd them. It's not the M word, it's the R word. Let's just keep it real. The children were in his custodial care at the time. That means he was a guardian. Scientology directed, under threat of expulsion, listen to this shit they do, that the mother not report the incident. Okay, no, I got it screwed up. That the mother not report the incident. Wonder what Jan Eastgate knows about that. To the proper authorities because the church could handle his operation. Don't you guys wonder what Rinder knew about this case? I wish they would have, it was in Florida. Tony Strawn is currently incarcerated by the Department of Corrections. Let's check on this and see. That's okay. Idiots think that they can erase this stuff. You can't. But like a hamster on a wheel. Letter of Yolanda Howell to Dennis Ehrlich. Dennis Ehrlich. Okay, Dennis, I don't know. I haven't seen anything negative on this dude. One little baby I knew in the Sea Org got HERPES. Baby, you guys. A baby. During a cadet org epidemic. Why don't we talk about this? Why don't we talk about this? I believe a lot more is going to be coming out, you guys. A 14-year-old girl disclosed to me how she and a few other little girls, not children in adult bodies, little girls, were leaving the cadet org in the daytime and performing services. I don't even like how that's labeled. It's coercion. Children can't consent. Doesn't anybody get the message? Don't they get it? I believe Wally Hanks is involved in this one because I read it way too many times. Performing as services, that's, in other words, R. That's the R word, you guys. In exchange for money. You see how they prey on the vulnerable? I'm pretty sure, just go look it up, a man who worked in the cadet org admitted he was R-ing the children, not the M word. Fuck the M word. Fuck the M word. And nothing was done. Although these incidents were written up, as far as I know, they were never handled, because a lot of them are doing it. Let's just keep it real. These poor babies. These poor babies. Children in such vulnerable conditions. Parents just frickin' throw them away like dogs in the dirt. And then these frickin' predator pedophiles just feed on them. The children have no money. They're supposed to take care of their own laundry needs, take care of their personal shampoos and hygiene. They probably needed money for shampoo and conditioner. You guys, there's so many things I want to say. I can't say it on the internet. I can't. Sea Org equals Scientology members who signed a billion-year contract. Cadet Org equals program for children so their Sea Org parents can get on with their business within the organization. Low Priority for Child Welfare by Adelaide Dodbova. These were the children of dedicated Scientologists, like prestigious executives. You know, prestigious executives that were never there for their kids. Students' files revealed previous teacher statements of incidents of physical and SA abuse. All of these cases were reported to the principal. I believe this is the Delphian School, perhaps. The reports were handled by Scientology alone. Teachers dared not report these crimes on their own outside the school for fear of losing their jobs. It's always blackmail. You better damn straight know I'd have lost my job sure enough. So that doesn't even add up. I mean, some teachers might stay on, but I mean, how many teacher jobs are there? Come on now. Come on. All these accounts and these agencies like the FBI, Homeland Security, all these agencies, none of them did anything. And you cannot tell me that these agencies, people in these agencies did not know. I don't buy that for a minute. Go look at the JW, all the incidents of the SA with the children. And who did help was Barbara Anderson. The Mace Kingsley Ranch by Astor Woodcraft. I know I've covered some of these things, you guys, but this is all like, all these little excerpts are just reiterating everything that everyone's been talking about. The Mace Kingsley Ranch by Astor Woodcraft. I was 13 years old. I think I was 13. I've read this before, but everyone had beer and got drunk. Isn't that wonderful? 13-year-old little girls getting drunk, you guys? Isn't that wonderful? Does it scream grooming? I think the first night or the second night I was up there, I was sitting next to him. You guys know who she's talking about, right? Wally Hanks. And just go look it up. It's all over the internet, so I know what I'm talking about. I was sitting next to him, a grown-ass man, by the way, and I had a few beers, and so had he, and so had everyone else, and he put his hand down my shirt and down my bra and started feeling me, and it really scared me, and I asked my friend later, I said, "What's Wally Hanks doing? Why did he do this?" And she said, "Oh, don't worry, he just does that with the girls. That's just what he does, but don't worry about it." Ex-Scientologist Jane Scott writes to John Ashcroft, "What we did not know about when we took our son to Mace Kingsley," listen to this closely. I have to repeat that because I kind of have had enough. What we did not know about, ask yourself that, you guys. Why wouldn't you know? When we took our son to Mace Kingsley, no, you just gave him up. You just gave him up. You sacrificed your son. Was that Wally Hanks was a pedophile who was engaged in illegal relations with at least one, or perhaps several. Oh, it was several, I can assure you. You guys were just handing your little girls over to the arists, to the pedophiles. Or perhaps several of the girls in his charge. One weekend when his younger brother and I went up to see Jesse, at the ranch, it was in obvious turmoil, and there appeared to be several new adults around. Jesse swore us to secrecy and then explained that one of the girls and her boyfriend had run away because she freaked out about Wally's SAing her and her not wanting it to go on anymore. Yeah, I mean, little girls that are getting AR'd, they usually don't want it to continue. And neither do boys. It's a thing, they kind of don't like it. It's not consensual. It's non-consensual. It's a crime. It's a crime. It's a federal crime. Oh, I don't even like reading about this guy anymore. You guys see, it gets me all worked up. I wish there would be more reports that came out. You and I both know it's just not just Wally Hanks, the freaking scum of the earth that he was. Former Mace Kingsley staffer Wally Hanks, after his Mace Kingsley time, that's a little dumbed down there. Wally Hanks was in charge, you guys. Started his own school. There you go. For troubled Scientologist kids. Well, now, there you go. Perfect place for a pedophile, isn't it? Isn't that perfect? The Hanks Ranch. In April 2004, a former student told one of the times there was, I wish somebody would have looked this over, of the time there was in Little Ranch of Horrors. Boy, you got to give the F-Scientos credit. They sure are trying to wipe it out, but you can't. You can't. You can't. You, Scientology, are the reason for all the black PR. Wally beat the shit out of me once for running his horse too hard. We had another whacked out Vietnam vet who was clearly psychotic stay there for a few months, living in a tent out in the back of the property. On a camping hunting trip to the Indian mines, he completely lost his mind, took all his clothes off, grabbed a couple of GUNs, and took off into the desert. Too bad he wanted to stay there. We found him a couple days later. Kids torturing animals, older kids making younger kids perform HSA acts, homo SA acts on them. I'm sure there is tons more, but I'd have to sit and think about it. So there you go. I mean, big surprise. Little boys were AR'd as well. Shocking, I know. Wallace Hanks, Scientology page. Vanished, but here is still a partial copy. It's all over the internet, Sciento. Isn't that great, you guys? P-Files are us, you guys. They love to talk about themselves. Look, about myself. I want to see what filth the narcissist was talking about. I am a locomotive federal inspector for the railroad. I'm the founding commodore of the Roadhouse Yacht in Seattle. My wife Shauna and I are active members of the Church of Scientology, Washington, and enjoy teaching others how to confront and handle their environment. No, just you enjoy abusing children. That's what you enjoy. And what else? Take a free personality test, of course. Hanks is currently founding commodore of a sailing club for youth. Isn't that wonderful, you guys? Whatever little weird thing Scientology put on this, you can find this anywhere. It's not hard to find. Apparently the MK Ranch was closed. I don't know why. I just guess. I'm not sure. We can hope. We can hope the feds were breathing down their neck. Maybe. One can hope, can't they? MK Ranch was closed. I don't know why, but the following explanation was given by the state website. Somebody was looking into stuff. I don't really want to read that. Anyways, it's just showing that the ranch. So they disguised themselves as a school. There was nothing that was a school about the ranch. Nothing. The Mace Kingsley Ranch was renamed Hacienda del Espirito. Can you imagine the House of the Spirit? The House of the Spirit, you guys. Really? Really? The House of Crushing Spirits? AKA New Mexico Ranch. That's the one that, I think, let's see. Nathan Rich was at the ranch in New Mexico. It was called the Lower Ranch. So I wonder if this was the same. Note that in Clearwater, Florida, a Mace Kingsley Family Center exists, with Jeff Averin and Ed Cram as auditor and Carol Kingsley as president. I wonder if that's still going on. Life aboard Scientology's ship, the Apollo, in 1968. To be honest, you guys, so far I'm listening to this Janice Grady's book. I don't know. No offense to Janice, but there's not much in it. Because I know she was on the Apollo. Working 12-hour days for little or no money, sleeping in overcrowded dormitories with strange adults led to SA abuse. Of course it did. They're everywhere. They don't know how to hold on to their sexual urges. They don't know how to be with someone their own age. And all this in the good name of Scientology. If any of you sick fucks who are in the business today can explain why this happened to me, especially while God himself was on board, I'll be happy to know. Yeah, I remember the story about Steve Manning. It's a bad situation. Let's see if it's... It is interesting to note that Scientology asked for exemption. Listen to this, you guys. Evil lurks. Exemption of an S exploitation legislation in Texas that would forbid counselors to have S with their patients. In other words, the auditors. They're thinking of the auditors. Perhaps Scientology feared past and present SA abuse victims would sue them. Of course they were. Because, what kind of a ethical lawyer or a moral lawyer would want to make sure that children who were SA'd could not sue them, right? You guys know the ethics is, I'm just being sarcastic. American Family Foundation, The Cult Observer, Volume 11, Number 4, 1994. Troll. Scientologist and psychiatrist. I don't want to read this. I'm focusing on the children today. Scamazette, evidence of disturbing neglect of Scientology children. Chris Owen, citing internal Scientology documents, June 1997. Funny how none of the first gens are talking about this, huh? Weird. When I was a nanny for the first 10 months of being an SO, the Sea Org, I would offer, pick up the kids and give them a hug or sit them on my lap. Sometimes when I would do this, I would get a blank. This was like a 2D restum, I guess, and sort of surprised and embarrassed me. Isn't that great, you guys? So there was a boy nanny that was getting excited when the children sat on his lap. Isn't that fantastic? So I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.